you imagine having a constant monologue of your own thoughts?
I have a constant monologue of my own thoughts. Also, I'm Mandy.
I'm Raquel.
This is Mocktails.
To know or not to know.
And, well, I'm sorry for my energy at the end of the last video, if you even made it. I was just, well, frustrated. We'll move on. The Northern Lights are out. Speaking of energy.
Found it. We're good.
I'm too much for Raquel right now. It's okay.
I'm sorry.
She's tired.
I'm
tired too. My tired is just loopy.
Andy's apologizing for her energy for the last video, and I'm apologizing for my energy for this video.
But whatever.
The show must go on.
We're here for you. The Northern Lights are out. Speaking of mass energy, just blasts from the sun happening right now. But we don't have any tech problems tonight. Ooh, cross our fingers, knock on wood.
Oh.
And that plays into a little bit of a conspiracy theory that some people have surrounding the Northern Lights. In general, the Northern Lights are fake, but these ones right now are.
I've heard that. They believe it's HARP.
I haven't gotten the chance to look super deep into it, but I did have some thoughts on it, because I have some thoughts on everything. I got thoughts. Somewhat plausible, because they're talking about how it's more dissipated instead of the actual ribbons of the Northern Lights. But that could just be that we're further south and we're just getting less of it and we're barely getting a glimpse. It being more active over the past few years and more active to the point that it's further south does make sense from an actual solar storm point of view. As far as HARP literally causing Northern Lights, I don't know. What do you think about that?
I saw some posts and memes going around Facebook that were talking about how HARP was involved in the Northern Lights. The first thing I thought of was, I thought that was more along the lines of earthquakes.
The idea is that the silver particles in the sky, since they're doing so much of it, reflects the colors from the little bit of research I was able to do. And that's why it's more of that dissipated look, like the picture I just showed you. It's just more blobs of color versus pretty bands of color. And even a couple years ago, I was able to see it where it wasn't colorful, but I could see that it was happening. The phone could see the color, but I could with my bare eyes. And it was bandy. I do understand the difference. Whether or not that means they're literally creating the Northern Lights, I don't think so.
That is such bullshit.
Maybe it's allowing it to be more refracted further south. Was once I got through the little bit of rabbit hole, I was like, well, maybe it's like both things. The Northern Lights are happening. The solar flares are more intense right now. It is aligning with that. And they're modifying our weather. And the things in the sky are causing refraction. All that to say, I don't really buy into that being just a full-blown conspiracy. But
I know, I am fine. I don't know why I had such emotional. I really don't. I have no idea where it came from. I was fine, and then I didn't know, and then my heart sucks. It was a weird burst of emotion. So, yes, I did. Continuing on to what you were saying, I did hear that people were talking about the Northern Lights being something to do with HARP. When I saw it, I don't really understand how HARP would have anything to do with the Northern Lights, just because I always view it to catastrophic events happening. I feel like any time that there's a hurricane, people are like, it's HARP.
Weather event.
It has to be HARP, obviously. Or it's the guy in Texas who was cloud seeding. And so when people mention something as pretty as the Northern Lights, I could see how they get the conspiracy because they did travel so far, but it doesn't seem like so harsh. I guess. It feels like HARP would be like the Joker. It's a calling card. It's just too nice of a thing for it to do.
So funny. Regardless of what they're doing right now, I definitely hope to see
when you
up close Northern Lights someday, because it is my people.
You caught a really nice picture of it.
Nice, but
the clouds and everything.
But my ancestor, I was really hoping to get my brother on the phone because, I don't know, it was late and I wouldn't want to call he would rather grandfather, but Uncle John is familial, but grandpa.
Is this an actual family member to you?
So he lives in, I don't know specifically what city, but the greater Anchorage area, greater Wasilla area, is still actively part of the tribe. And he's really active in location and stuff as far as continuing our traditions, and especially hunting and fishing and how to actually process the animal and take care of yourself. No, I talk about it I bring it up because I feel like I almost need to. I know that I look like an ice princess, but if you see my family next to me, oh, see, I have the round face and the high cheekbones.
You have a very
and
Native
stuff,
American,
but I'm super
just white skin.
And people come at me for it, for having any opinion of any sort, and I'm like, dude, I have a closer connection than most, and
You have actual lineage.
a right to speak on it because of the trauma that my family lineage went through for me to have such white skin. So, anyways, I'll get off my high horse. My brother would be more of a sin to call. Oh, that's okay. I think it would have been, I don't know, maybe I'll share it with you next time if I have the chance to speak with him or my Uncle John about my family's personal connection with the Northern Lights. I haven't had an opportunity. I always just assumed it was W's. Do you know what I'm referring to when I say that?
I don't.
Well, you're not really supposed to say it and such, but it's like a Navajo where it's skinwalkers.
Oh.
So you're not really supposed to say it because thinking about all of the stuff, and then we also have the Northern Lights. So
that's interesting.
I'm woo-woo enough that I'm like, we'll just move on. But I thought it was more like that, where it was just talked about, which it's not. Yes, it's respected, and they don't. It's not so much like, let's go and dance and party under them. It's quite the opposite. So, common themes. I guess backtrack. The reason I wanted so badly to talk to my family is because there's not a lot of documented history that you can find anywhere on the interwebs, libraries, anything, because of our tradition of oral
communication.
I thought.
Like a family, not an heirloom, but a family, all I can think of is the word tradition. A family legend? But if it's something you do every time the Northern Lights, it'd be more.
So essentially just that tribal people in general are known to have more of an oral tradition of storytelling and sharing history rather than a written history. That's why I really wanted to get some actual perspective, because everything that you can find is very surface level. So I did my best to hone in, because not only I'm not just Alaska Native, I'm not Inuit that everybody would know of, which is the more large, and then there's Nunavut, and there's one other that I'm forgetting. They have a lot longer name that also starts with an N. That is more the other coast. They're more like East Coast. Very similar to our traditions, a lot of little things, but they are way further away.
Oh, okay.
But they're coastal, so it's the ocean and such, where obviously there's salmon more so in our ocean and such. Right. But mine are the Yupik, so it's a very small, more coastal, and then we actually share bloodlines with those on the Russian coast. What would be, I guess, the Bering Land Bridge at one point, the ice bridge or whatever, a millennia ago. And then there's an island right in the middle. So if you look on a map, you can see where my people are in Alaska, the island where there's also Yupik, and then the edge of Russia where there's also Yupik. Okay. You guys traverse this way, maybe some of them went back, but we're all very much blood related, which is unique to the rest of the native population in Alaska and Canada and the northern frontier, essentially. Right. So, beyond the backstory, I did want to find as much as I could specifically my area. The name of my tribe didn't pull anything up, but I was able to find something just based on the region, because we traveled with the seasons, so it's not like we lived here. It was
a lot of migration.
Because with the seasons, I've just vaguely talked with Grandma. She's mentioned that's how they love to... That was how their summers, they went here and they traveled and they were always somewhere different, and she loved talking about that. So regardless, the Yukon, lower Yukon region, Eminok is my tribe, and there is actually a city called Eminok, so that would be near the mouth of the Yukon, so generally where my people are from. Specifically, ours had more animal, which I thought that was great because much I love animal. That it has to do with the dance of the animal spirits, specifically including the spirits of animals vital for our survival. So, deer, caribou, which reindeer is the cultivated caribou, of course. Wolf, seals, salmon, beluga whales. The presence, specifically with the whales, the presence of these lights symbolized the continuation of the animal spirit and reinforced the importance of the balance between humans and nature. It was just that moment of honoring And that, I believe, comes from the more, like I said, umbrella blanket beliefs that seems to also be shared just with a little bit of research. I can't speak for them very much at all, but Iceland and the areas elsewhere that also experience northern lights, their indigenous cultures have also very similar beliefs to these. That's worth noting. They had zero connection at all and had very similar beliefs into what the northern lights were, what to do and not to do around them.
So neither group branched off from each other or anything like that?
One
migrated this way.
At some point I could totally figure out at some point that they connected.
That's just really cool that they have these same traditions.
But they did not trade modern day, even past 500,000 years.
And like you said, most of it's oral history, so it's not exactly like the books or journals they were going off of.
So
very cool.
For it to be still very close is super fascinating. One of the main that does align with the SWs is you do not whistle underneath, essentially, the lights.
Okay.
Because, again, this part varies, but they believe the spirits of the lights themselves, the past loved ones, whatever the specific belief details are, comes through the northern lights and will take people away. There's also, I read one, it was some beliefs that they could even chop your head off, which was kind of scary.
Oh.
That was a weird one-off. I don't know if that could come from a story that's not even remotely accurate in beliefs.
Oh, sure, just a legend. But
it could be some weird, stereotype that came up later
Jehovah's
on.
Witnesses have a lot of the similar beliefs with demons, of course.
So
similar stories, too.
Scary, even if it wasn't.
Right.
But widespread belief among Yupik people is that the aurora mark the passage of human spirits to the afterlife. So that's where it's very much the veil is thin, like a connection. Some beliefs have that you can actually communicate with the northern lights. Essentially that the northern lights communicate through a whistling or rustling sound, and that people on Earth were believed to have the ability to converse with the dead relatives by responding with whispers. So don't whistle, but you can talk to them, but just don't be too loud.
Thin hairs were splitting here.
I don't know. Again, I wish so badly. I want to ask John so many questions.
I'm almost wondering if it's not the whistling summons, so I'm wondering if it's evil spirits welcoming spirits and you don't want to summon the wrong ones. Maybe. So there's a specific way of talking to them.
Maybe.
That is my absolute just overall thought on it.
That one was responding with whispers is very new. Which, do keep that in mind a little bit, because I'm going to tell you a brief story. Ashley Inc., I've brought her up before, which I think the video that I'm talking about may have been the very first one that I ever saw of her. I think, if not the first couple. But anyways, obviously lots of caution and respect. You're inviting them to come down, so maybe whispers is more of a conversation and whistling is more of an invite.
So do they believe the SWs are in the Northern Lights?
Oh, no. The SWs have nothing to do with. But I just meant SWs. You're not supposed to whistle in the woods at night, or especially on reservation land, especially in the Appalachian Mountains. Just don't whistle at night in the woods. In general.
I thought this was just under the Northern Lights specifically.
This that I'm talking about, yes, but
in general.
It's a pretty generally held belief in most Native Indigenous American cultures not to F around at night.
Got it.
Just kind of respect the weird shit.
For sure.
Anyways, sorry, I know I kind of conflated the two. So.
I'm glad we clarified. I'd be the one to whistle. Well, let's see what happens.
It's like taken away and replaced with a changeling. Maybe she'd be nicer. I'm just kidding. Raquel's super nice.
I'm not.
I want you to think she is, but she is.
So, no whistling at night. Back to the Northern Light tales, legends.
That connects, obviously, the animals, so I think more my people specifically, not just spirits, but animal spirits. Right. So, which I think is sweet.
I think that's really cool.
And then I thought this was funny. So, stories in folklore. There was a specific piece of folklore from, this was the one Nunavik, Islanders, described the lights as walrus spirits playing ball games with human skulls. That's fun. So
that's like the Aztecs and their weird soccer play as well.
So it's a variation of a common Arctic myth about just in general spirits playing games in the skies, sometimes involving walrus skull or human skull is the ball. But this, instead of it being a walrus skull, it's literally the walrus spirit. So, I don't know, just funny stuff.
So the spirits are playing.
Walrus is spirit.
Right, I'm understanding.
Playing with a human skull. It's all just fun stories. That is, oh, we're looking at the lights, and that's what they're doing. It's telling stories, just like looking at the stars and having constellations. It really was barely a sip. I'm trying to be all polite, and it's just not me, guys.
I was arguing mine. I was all complaining about the tonic water.
No, this is super good. This would be a good one for Thanksgiving. Impressing your grandparents or that don't drink anymore. Or
100% a great Thanksgiving drink, for sure.
So Ashley, she gets anonymous and otherwise emails and stories where people don't want to tell the story otherwise because they're scared to not be believed, and her whole shtick is, we will believe you, I will believe you, so I'll tell your story. And she acknowledges, I have no real way, people just are going to say what they're going to say, but I'm taking their word for it.
Right.
I'm going to need to get the sticky off my hands. So, this one story specifically was a gal that wanted to be anonymous. However, she did share her cover letter to prove her credentials. So she did share her name with Ashley. Publicly, she's anonymous.
Right.
So, still her story could be ludicrous. Her credentials are legit. As a student, weather student type situation, you can go watch her video for better details. She's actually reading her email. I'm just recalling from memory. A student, she went on a research trip with her class to Alaska, where she said the northern lights were so close and so bright that they were literally casting shadows on the ground.
Oh, wow.
So they're like touching the northern lights practically. She's not at all very science-minded, by the way. She pointed this out, I believe at least a couple times it seemed like, but didn't really believe in any of the junky stuff. She wanted to preface it with she wasn't going into it knowing anything about the lore, knowing anything about anything. Just, we're going to study and see what this phenomenon is that is purely scientific.
Right.
On one of the first nights, she woke up to one of the leaders, not like the teacher, but one of the students that had been a bigger part of the project. She was very much in charge of all of the research, the leader.
Right.
She was just standing, staring at the sky. Still, it's cold. It's freaking super far north Alaska. Just standing there staring at the sky, and I guess she was clicking with her mouth.
Oh, very.
And like, you could actually see her mouth like, moving, and she said it was rhythmic, and it was in patterns, and it wasn't just like continuous click. It was almost like she was speaking a different language. And then she walks up to her and says, "Hey, what's going on?" And, "Oh, I'm just looking at the northern lights." And she's like, "So what was that thing you were doing with your mouth there?" "I don't know what you're talking about." Move on. We'll go to bed. Like, this is her leader, so she can't just like question her. She can't be like, "What are you talking about? You were being crazy. What were you doing?" No, she was just like, "I'll take your word for it."
Right.
So they go to sleep, and then over the course of the next week, 3 other team members did the exact same thing.
Together? Or
just really on random different nights.
Oh, weird.
Would just be found staring up at the sky, clicking at the northern lights specifically.
Oh.
So that's why I said, remember the whistling and such and the rustling. So they're clicking at it. They're communicating with it.
That is really creepy.
And then the project was canceled for budget reasons. Was the only explanation she could ever get. She wanted to keep her job and her career alive, so she didn't press the matter, but it's always bothered her to this day.
I almost feel like her story is real, though, because she has so little proof and evidence, and the story's not that good, and there's no conclusion. It's just like some weird freaky shit she saw on a project she was a part of.
Oh, for budget reasons. You sent us to Alaska and you're just gonna scrap the thousands of dollars over a bad budget. You didn't know this a month ago.
Did they publish any studies or find any information?
Just scrapped everything. All 4 of the people died under mysterious circumstances in the years following.
Oh, that's...
I think one was either died or went crazy or had some sort of psychotic...
Very interesting.
So,
I'm almost inclined to believe her story. And I need to look more into it and everything. I'm just saying, it's not like she came up with some... And then things started coming out of the sky. She's like, I just experienced this and I don't know what the fuck it was about. Yeah, it's crazy.
I thought so.
I would be personally so invested and terrified at the same time if I was in her position. I need answers, but also I don't know if I want them.
They're powerful, whatever the heck they are.
Clearly, they get humans all in a tizzy. They've had my brainwaves in a tizzy for a few days.
I think we forget that our brain is electrical, like pulses and
I think just in general, humans forget how connected we are to our own planet, and things that change around us change us.
technology is widely accepted as these solar flares affect technology.
Right.
The Mercury retrograde is known to affect technology because of how it affects crystals and how it affects
Right.
blah, blah, blah. And it's like, so how far-fetched is it that maybe it could be affecting us? Or the moon affecting the tides, and we're like so moist.
We're so much water.
Sorry for that word. I know many hate it.
Me included.
Ooh, yay. Should I say it again? I'm just kidding.
Very. All right, well, and we have other parts of the show that we have to get on to.
That was fun, though. Thank you for letting me share. I was feeling very...
Oh, of course, I loved
connected to the sky tonight.
Yeah,
so.
Even if it is hard playing tricks on all of us. Who knows, where it might be in a matrix, and maybe it's just to make us all a little happier.
Mm-hmm. I was scared. Trips to Iceland for my honeymoon, and then it dawned on me that going in the summer would be pretty stupid, because it's just super bright there most of the time.
It's so bright. It'd be better to go to Greenland.
Can you imagine being somewhere that the sun never sets on your honeymoon?
Oh my god. Especially if it was an old-fashioned kind of honeymoon, too.
You're just trying to get it off for the first time as much as possible. That's what I was saying. Just daytime the whole time. And you're like,
this was a mistake.
The alternative, a winter honeymoon in Iceland where it's beautiful and it's dark all day. Just round the clock, baby.
Amanda handing out honeymoon tips based off geography and weather.
Personal research. I have a wedding I'm planning.
Fair. She has investments in this. On to our next topic. I know we both had something that we wanted to discuss about Trump. I cannot get away from this on my algorithm, so I thought I would come and share it with all of you guys and see how many of you had seen it, or have opinions about it, or what your opinions might be. I'll give you my opinion, and Mandy can give you hers once she knows what I'm talking about. We're all over the place.
I do not have DID, by the way, nor do I conflate split personality disorder. I just have ADHD and autism, and they absolutely clash inside me.
Do conflict. She's always the same person, just a different kind of Mandy every time.
I thought you couldn't handle large spoons. Why are you grabbing the biggest spoon out of the drawer? Well, I need a spoonful of caramel. Hello, it's different.
Literally, when you asked me for a spoon, I freaked out when I was upstairs, and I was like, did I break her? She's not
even putting those ones in my mouth either.
She's not gonna like my silverware. Seriously, for real this time. ABC News. Trump proposes 50-year mortgage plan as housing costs soar. So I think a lot of us already know that it's very difficult for us all to buy houses. Particularly millennials and Gen Z are having a hard time with it. Millennials aren't buying houses until the age of 40, and Gen Z is not projected to buy houses until they are 60 years old.
Oh.
So if you do your math, that would mean that millennials would be paying off their houses in their 90s, and Gen Z would be paying off their houses when they were dead.
Okay.
I thought this when I heard it this morning, and then when I was looking it up. But that being said, if you can't pay off your house in your lifetime, and you have no next of kin to pass it down to, with our birth rate decreasing more and more as well, less and less people having children, now there's less for the houses to be passed down to. If you don't pay your house off, then nobody wants to get strapped with a mortgage, so it just goes back to the bank. It's basically a lease.
It just goes back into your estate. Basically, the bank sells it on your behalf, and then it goes back into your estate, right?
Exactly. Whatever's left over.
And then your estate goes into unclaimed property. And
if you have people to pass it down to, obviously it'll be passed down to them. If not, then just unclaimed property that the government eventually will absorb. It's basically a leasing program. First, I'll preface this with this, and then I'll read my short little article. But I did the math. The average house being about $400,000. I know some areas vary, so that might be a little high or low for some areas, but about $400,000. If you were to go get a 50-year loan versus a 30-year loan, you would roughly be saving about $150 a month. So you're not even really saving this gigantic amount of money. People do the math and they go, well, that's 20 extra years.
30 versus a 50-year loan, just the interest alone.
Well, so that's the other article. Let me pull that up really quick.
Because you pay off your interest ahead of time, they're going to calculate.
Exactly. And because home loans aren't a set interest.
Well, the amortization is what can be different. The interest is going to be fixed. They're not going to do variable interest rates.
You're not going to fluctuate interest rates.
That's what caused the 08 crash.
Anyways, but it's still adding every time it's sitting. Not the
right. It's compounding.
Right.
And then depending on the bank's amortization is depending on how long it takes to actually start picking away at that principal balance.
Right.
So they calculated it in assuming it's going to take you that long. You paying it off early, it's very confusing, guys. But that's why you have the first payment basically is 1% goes towards the principal, 99% goes towards the interest. By the last, it's 99% principal, 1% interest.
Right.
And then in between is some sort of gradual change.
Right. And so a financial advisor that Fox spoke with, and I'll post his name up, he said that assuming a 6.25% rate on both a 50-year mortgage and a 30-year mortgage, which he noted is unlikely as the longer duration of the loan would have a higher rate, and more interest costs, total interest on the 50-year loan would be $816,396 as compared with a 30-year loan interest of $438,156. So like you said, the interest itself isn't changing, but it's compacting on top of itself. And it's unlikely, say the average interest rate.
Risk. So realistically, they probably would charge a higher risk interest because the risk is higher. Because it takes you longer to pay it off. They have to hold that longer.
So if the average interest rate is 5% and you go get a 50-year loan, you're going to get saddled with probably 8 or 9%, more than likely, on your loan. And I was going to say, financial advisor that Fox spoke to is Joel Berner. And actually, a lot of MAGA and Republican supporters mocked the entire idea. They thought it was a terrible idea, along with a lot of Democrats, because it is a terrible idea.
Anybody that knows what they're talking about was what?
A businessman to make a call like that, too. You're thinking... And then when they did an interview with him, today I'll put the video up, but he goes, it's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. No, it's not really that big of a deal. And
your housing director has proposed something that has enraged your MAGA friends, which is this 50-year mortgage idea. So a significant MAGA backlash, calling it a giveaway to the banks and simply prolonging the time it would take for Americans to own a home. Is that really a good idea?
It's not even a big deal. I mean, you go from 40 to 50 years, and what it means is 50, you pay something less from 30. That some people had a 40, and then now they have a 50. All it means is you pay less per month. You pay it over a longer period of time. It's not like a big factor.
And then people are trying to argue with him, and he just did the Trump thing where he's like, no, it's not that big of a deal. And I said it's not that big of a deal. No, it is. Because you're going to drown people. Because people who are desperate to get a house will take the 50-year loan. So that's my opinion about it. Please comment below and how you feel about the 50-year loan versus the 30.
I haven't done any research into this one, but apparently the Sallie Mae or one of those type banks, it might be Sallie Mae, it might be not. One of those big banks is going to reduce or completely remove their credit rating check requirement.
Oh, interesting.
So they're going to have no credit score requirement, but it will be conventional loans only. So that would mean the actual 20% down. You're not going to get an FHA. You're not going to get a waiver. With that, it makes sense to me because a lot of people are in panic mode of, oh my God, this is going to cause another housing crash. You're just going to give a bunch of people these home loans that have no business having home loans, but you still have to have enough of the income. There's other ways to verify that you're able to
that type of loan
back.
takes a lot to work towards.
Shows
some grit,
I guess, some credit worthiness, even if your credit is not worthy.
Right. Well, I think too, because the people take such a hit when they're trying to build to get a conventional loan like that, even though that they are managing their money very well and they do have a lot of credit lines open, it's lower because they are paying on so much to try and get a conventional loan. So it's a show that they can manage money. So I get what you're saying.
I don't know. Plus, I didn't even have a credit score until...
It was like 1970 something?
I was just going to say, I think it was the 70s. I was hoping you knew offhand, but I think it was the 70s.
We do have
So it's not been around for millennia, so maybe we do just need to get rid of it. I don't think it would cause a housing market crash. Because realistic, I know people that file bankruptcy and within a year their credit's back at 700 plus.
So it was actually...
super quick. It's crazy.
It was 1956. Bill Fair and Earl Isaac developed the first credit scoring system, but I'm guessing it's
56. So maybe that was a more universal credit system or something was
before
formed?
they used that for the housing. I'm feeling like in America, the housing credit score was in 1970 sometime, because before that it was 2 pay stubs.
Let us know.
If you do, let us know.
That's fun. Well, I wanted to make fun of my brother because he gave me permission. I was being all nice about him earlier. Same brother. But
Sure.
I'm only making fun of him because it was so relatable. I guess you guys will know if I got permission in time to show his face, but we'll call him K. Basically, my mom posted a photograph of him, an old photograph that was taken years ago. Let me find it. I'm gonna have to quote you, bud. I know you're gonna see this.
As famous as
Damn, AI, that almost looks like me. And my mom replies, it was taken from a 35mm camera before technology.
Well, the camera itself preserves technology.
She's such a goof.
I know. That's funny.
So, I just thought that was funny. You can definitely see the photograph of my brother.
Oh, 100%.
But he thought it was AI.
So he for real thought this was AI. Oh, that makes it so much funnier.
He was in that picture. That picture was of him. He was standing right there when that picture was taken. This is from years ago.
Before I even seen the picture, I believed it was a real picture. I thought he was joking. I didn't think he really thought the picture. That's hilarious.
So, in the name of everybody just thinks everything's AI these days.
Ha 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 ha! Much laughter and exaggerated scenarios ahead.
This joke was written by AI while the writers were on strike.
We think
we sure do.
Or
even when our mama posts pictures of us.
That's amazing. All right. Well, I wanted to show you something that I thought was pretty cool. Okay. I just thought it'd be fun. I'd end it with creepy, but kind of a funny, weird thing that I learned. Okay. This video is done by Jason. He basically, his channel goes over a lot of movie props and old stories, and he digs into them with a more scientific, logical point of view.
Am I the only one who thinks Ouija boards are actually creepier once you know how they work? Because when I was a little kid going to church, we were told that Ouija boards could summon spirits and that you could easily accidentally summon a demon. And then I got a little bit older and realized they sell the things at Walmart and that the patent is owned by a toy company. And then you look up what's actually going on and they say, oh, it's just something called the idiometer phenomenon. Under the right circumstances, your subconscious mind can move your hands around and spell out messages with your conscious mind being totally unaware of it. And you say, oh, okay. Wait, what? And they say, well, if you've ever driven a car, you know how you can drive all the way home from work, distracted the whole time by some problem that you're focusing on, and you don't actually have any memory of the drive itself? Even though driving is an incredibly complex task that requires you to process all kinds of information, you did it on autopilot. In other words, this very complicated life task did not require intervention from your conscious mind at all. In fact, your conscious mind isn't really needed for everyday tasks.
That's really cool and all. I'm glad he can rationalize that so he no longer has to be afraid, but please don't mess around with Ouija boards. Please don't get a mouse pad Ouija board.
I was more intrigued with the holy shit, my brain does shit all day and I'm not even in control.
But that don't explain that freaking planchette moving on its own, baby. And I don't mess with Ouija boards, as you can tell. No, thank you. That shit's real.
I actually am on the same page as you. I grew up a Jehovah's Witness. I showed this to my sister, and my sister was like, I still wouldn't get a Ouija board. And I was like, no, 100%. But this is the part that I wanted to read.
Oh wait, I'm still stuck on. I cannot believe that there is probably $5.
It's 12.
Can't even get a $5 mouse pad no more. How you doing, Trump?
50-year loans, $12 mouse pads. Ukraine's war is still going on. Shit. So I did look it up. I actually don't know this. I knew that the subconscious brain did a lot. I know they are your conscious brain and subconscious brain work together, so the conscious brain learns things, so the subconscious brain can continue to do them without you needing to do them. But the mind controls 95% of your life.
That's cool. Ooh, maybe that's what's wrong with people with ADHD. Maybe we're accessing some of the subconscious actively. Because I swear, I'm aware of all of those levels, dog.
So I told my sister about this, and she said the same thing. She said,
I know what the subconscious is doing. It's fucking annoying, and I wish it would shut the fuck up.
She was talking about, she's like, maybe that works for other people, but I am aware that I'm driving all the time. And then for like 5 seconds, I think about something else, and my brain's like, you're driving now. You're making a left-hand turn. You're driving a vehicle right now.
But then I have the 8 where it's all of it at the same time.
Oh, it's constantly
I can't even.
Oh, it's doing in your.
There's no way to show you. I'm sorry.
I had no idea that was the case.
Yeah. It's kind of that's I guess a good way to, when people are making music and they have that bass beat that's constantly going, and then they add this one with the bloop. There's all that and then the bloop, and then they add the and then they add the lyrics, and then they add the background lyrics, and then they add the guitar. All of that is like I'm actively aware of it all at once, and it's a different stream. Not necessarily stream of consciousness. I'm only one conscious being, but like a different
frequencies or different tabs are open at the same time.
And then I can focus on one or the other, and I can be I can't nothing. I'm lying right now. Focus ain't shit. That's what's wrong with ADHD. But I can partially focus, and I think that's the problem, is there's multiple being paid attention to at once.
Interesting. So a question then for you. Can you type and look at other things while you're typing? Because typing is a very subconscious muscle memory thing if you don't need to look at the keyboard.
I need to look at the keyboard, though. I wonder if maybe that...
Oh.
If I know... I have to be... That's where I think I have to upload multiple levels of consciousness or whatever, paying attention, focus, to the task. All multiple bands to be focused on that same task to work, because I need the physical. I'll be physically reading, making sure what I'm typing is going in correctly. So I'm reading that as it's typing, physically typing, make sure I'm hitting the right keys, and thinking the dialogue of what I want to say all at the same time.
Oh.
And then if somebody tries to talk to me, I'm not the nicest person.
I can type and watch something else, or type and watch something else, and then go back.
Like proofread it? Staring at the TV and you're listening to what they're saying?
No, it's more or less like, say I'm at work, and I'm watching the cameras at work, and I'm typing something up. Or I'm typing on my phone and I'm watching my kids. So I could do all that at the same time and then look back down. And sure, there's some typos. I gotta go back through and fix some things. Very interesting. I wanted to know because it sounds like people with like higher forms like ADHD and have some autism in their mental illness, like you, my sister, and Jacob, have no mental capacity to run your subconscious brain on its own, where I feel like mine is running 95% of my life, and my 5% conscious is just like...
So convenient. That's what it seems, observing the rest. That's what it seems like, is you guys are just like, not even aware. Ooh, this is fun.
Except for NPCs that aren't doing anything.
I'm gonna connect this first, because it's a fucking ADHD rabbit hole why I too. So, Kyle's answer to why he didn't know about this phenomenon from childhood is, I don't got enough room for my brain for that. I don't have time to put focus on that.
Oh, that's so
like, he's just like, oh no, even if it's happening when I was a kid, that would not have, no, don't got time for that.
Right.
He has never heard of the game.
Really?
He's our age.
You guys all just lost.
Never heard of it.
Oh. So even I paid attention enough to figure out. But that is totally something I would have missed too.
So I don't know. You guys are going to have to tell us, because that conversation led to me realizing how different life was for us being kind of sound kids. Like, small town, we're sound kids. The high school he went to, he was like, oh, I would go a week and never lump into my friends.
Oh, huge.
So that would get harder for a game like that to work. But that was a national game, right? That wasn't just our area.
There were lots of memes on Facebook about it. I feel like tons and tons of people.
It couldn't have possibly been just small town America,
My best
right?
friend from California knew the game, and she...
Like big city?
5 outside buildings.
So it's just Kyle. But apparently there's neurotypicals that are like, no,
I'm not that bad. I will tell you from experience of having a sister that's complete opposite of my brain, much like yours. She will remember very serious facts and information that I just bypassed.
That's not you even care.
How do you even know about that?
Envy that a lot. I do love my brain. I love myself. I've learned to love me.
Oh,
and that's nice, because our life is exhausting.
Although the subconscious brain working in the middle of the night doing weird stuff does freak you out. I will tell you that.
What do you mean?
I think that's why this study freaked me out so much. Is because my brain does do stuff without me knowing it all the time. And that really does start to freak you out. Because you could pick things up and move them without knowing that you did it. You can get up in the middle of the night, lock your door, and not realize like that.
but not sleepwalking?
It's not even just sleepwalking.
That's different than sleepwalking, what you're explaining?
Yeah, because I have a routine. I get up in the middle of the night, and then I get upstairs, and I get myself a snack, and I drink some water.
So you're not sleepwalking. You are fully awake,
but you
you're
subconsciously, I did it the other day to my sister. She's like, why'd you put the chain on the door? And I seriously couldn't figure out who put and it was me. It had to have been me, because I was the only one.
Maybe I do stuff without realizing I'm doing it, but...
No, it's life. No,
habits are a thing.
I could put a load of laundry away and forget that I put it away. I'd go back down to fold the laundry and put it away. It's not even just forgetful thinking. It's just like you're on autopilot. You've already done it.
So this is probably a habitual. Will you brush your teeth before you go to bed? Part of your bedtime routine. Do you just literally and then you just go through steps without having to actually think about what your next step is? You just lay down in bed and you go to sleep?
Absolutely. My brain's just thinking about all the conversations I had, what I'm going to talk about on the show. Just all that stuff is going on in my head.
Successfully
brushing my teeth,
completing tasks.
Yes, 100%.
In a timely manner, correctly.
Everything I'll have in a day, so I have to have a timely, scheduled manner.
I'm gonna cry. I'm literally gonna cry right now. Your life is that easy!
It's not that.
Fuck you.
But could you imagine having a constant monologue of your own thoughts?
I have a constant monologue of my own thoughts. Also,
would you have to think through everything you do?
I'm literally crying about finding out that you don't.
Like, that's crazy. I'm sorry I didn't want to make you cry. It wasn't a brag sesh. It was just more like, this was interesting to me.
No, I'm just confirming things that I already said.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, life really is on hard mode for us. Holy shit. I'm fine, I promise, but holy crap.
There's definitely some emotion.
It's almost some relief. I lap my teeth most of the time because I have to.
Oh, my sister struggles with that.
Okay, so I do this next. Well, also I need to do this because, and then I get ready and then by the time I get to the morning, I'm like, wait a minute, why is the clothes not in the dryer? I thought, oh crap, but then I got distracted by this. God damn it.
I didn't realize how much easier my life was being on autopilot. I thought it would be better that I don't. I guess my thought process was that I'm tired of always hearing me repeat conversations and go through this constant, I've got to relive every moment of my everyday.
Well, I have that too. I also have inner monologue. But while happening, I'm thinking about the fact that I'm driving. Or I'm thinking about the way that the water feels when my hand goes in there to grab that dish and, that was a different texture than that. And, oh my gosh, that sound over there, is that, we didn't get that, did we? And going through the shopping list. But it's all happening at the same time.
Oh, that would be very loud. I could understand why that would be very frustrating. That would be tense.
Damn. Humans, man. Right, we keep going because both of us are very highly interested in psychology. So we probably will keep this going, but you guys don't get to witness it.
All right. Well, always keep an open mind, but not so open that your brain falls out.
And keep challenging your bias.
And have a great night.
Bye.